I think if we were to look at one person that caused Emmaus to move from Chicago to Dubuque, it would be Dave. And he was really the fire behind all of that and got us rather conservative folks moving a little bit. And we got organized finally and got it done. The Lord gave us a great blessing, and you see this campus out there, which is in marked contrast to what it was in Oak Park. Dave is one of the wonderful teachers at Emmaus, and I don't think we really need to introduce him very much because we've already heard him. And you're back again, and we're just delighted that you're here, Dave, and look forward to what the Lord has to give to us this time.
I'm always frightened when a good friend introduces me. There are so many things that could be said, you realize. And he chose the ones I wrote on the card for him, so that worked out pretty well. Could be dangerous. I'd like you to take a look at that packet you have. Hey, if I can't keep your attention, read the stuff from Emmaus. Get something good out of it at least. That'll be no problem. There are some things that relate to what we'll be doing. This is a very important piece of paper. It has all of the events of the life of Christ in chronological order, structured under the basic headings of the various divisions of the life of Christ. Now, we certainly won't be able to do all of this weekend. Are you surprised at that? We have 42 hours to do it at Emmaus in our Life of Christ course there, and we'll have 5 or 6 of those. But we will get a sample, and you will be able to get a feel for it. And the big thing I'd like to be able to accomplish is to give you the big picture, to put together all the stories you already know. This is the advantage of teaching adult Christians. You have read the Gospels. How many of you have read the Gospels through at least once? See, you know the stories. What we don't know is how they fit together, the strategy, the purpose, and even the primary development of the story of the life of Christ. And they're the things I'd like to do. Now, one of the things I have the students do at school is have a term project that traces the historical, chronological, geographical development of the life of Christ. And one option is to memorize all of these. And you would be surprised how many students do that. Those who have a good memory feel that's a better way to go about it than doing some other form of project. And they are forever blessed for having the flow of the life of Christ. Now, what this section does, I have a few pages that are just blank for you to take notes on if you'd like to. What this does is break it down into probably the primary things that we will talk about this weekend with you. And this will give us the flow, the movement of the life of Christ. And the 6 segments correspond to these 6 segments. Now, you will be using a Bible. I will too, but this is a little different arrangement. What I have in front of me is a very worn out harmony of the Gospels. And what it does is parallel all of the events of the Gospels in chronological order. I have just a few of those that I can sell to you. 3, actually, $10 a piece. I won't make any money off of it. Go to the school. This is the text that we use. And it puts all the Gospels in chronological order. And when there are parallel accounts, there are a few things that are recorded in all 4 of the Gospels. The feeding of the 5,000. They're side by side. And it is an enormous help in studying the life of Christ as you would normally study anybody's life, beginning to end with the events in chronological order. And these are available. If you'd like one of those, see me. They are out of print presently, that one, but there are numerous harmonies in print. And they all basically follow the same pattern. Some things are debated as to where they actually occur chronologically, and you make your best guess on those, obviously. I would say at the outset that the life of Christ, the last week, the questions of when does the crucifixion take place. It varies from all the way from Tuesday to Friday scenario. I take the traditional viewpoint of a Good Friday crucifixion, resurrection on the Sunday morning. Recognize there are some problems with every viewpoint there, but when I come face to face with things that have some unanswerable problems, I really do go to the traditional historical perspective on that. I think we're safe doing that. For some reason or other, it's pervaded through the history of the church, and I would follow that pattern. There are some debates over that. I grant that at the beginning, and we won't get hung up on those details. We'll be looking at the primary structure as we go through it. Now, tonight, in some ways, is the most important session. If we get it tonight, we'll have it. And if we don't, it'll be hazy throughout. What I will be doing in our study of the life of Christ is looking at the historical chronology of the life. We know it starts with the birth and ends with the resurrection. But we'll be looking at some of the details of how it all fits together. We'll look at the geographical travels, his movement. That becomes very important. When we read the Gospels, we'll skip over geographical citations. We'll read this happened in Cana. Who cares? This happened in Bethlehem. This happened on the Sea of Galilee. None of those things register with us generally. Sometimes we are reading an event that we think is the same event, but really it's the second time that the teaching was given, and it's taking place in a different province altogether. And unless we understand that, we'll lose some of the force of that. On a couple of occasions, the Lord is asked by his disciples, teach us to pray. And he gives the Lord's Prayer in one place and another place, which gives me some encouragement. He repeated his messages. Isn't that good to know right off the bat? Yeah, he did that. Because the students didn't get it the first time. And I've noticed that. My students have a problem, and I'm not as good a teacher as Jesus is, obvious. So repetition, different place, different time. So we'll look at the geographical travels, and we'll look as well at the theological purposes and development of the life of Christ. And we'll start with that one tonight.